Hi, everyone, and welcome to Launch Week for our Anatomy of Abundance book, A Holistic Guide to Creating Prosperity in All Aspects of Life. I am so excited because I have the pleasure finally of introducing all of the incredible expert authors, co-authors that have been involved in creating this incredible book project that we're putting out into the world. So today I get to spotlight my dear friend and colleague, Miss Kymberly Spears. Welcome, Kymberly.
Hi guys, so happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with you.
I know what a ride has this been.
It was the most unexpected joy of a ride, though, almost like a merry-go-round. It's ups and downs, up and down, but who does not appreciate a good merry-go-round, no matter how old you are?
Exactly. And so I know for yourself, this is your first time writing a book or a chapter or anything of that sort. And so for you, I know that the initial saying yes of it was part of the transformation. I would love for you to just share a little bit about why you chose to be a part of the book project and how this whole experience has been for you.
Absolutely. So, one, I am just a fan of your work and just the community that you created. I have to just, say that's first and foremost. That really was an inspiration to me and encouragement. So I knew when you said you were putting together this project, anyone who's going to be associated was going to be top notch, top tier. So I was intrigued immediately, and you hit it right on the nose. Like I had a lot going on, having just had the baby in January, my first, my daughter, and having my other kids, my stepchildren, and my husband, and just kind of getting acclimated. I was a little hesitant on whether or not I could put it on my plate, but it was a blessing, and I said yes because I prayed on it, and my chapter was about getting organized and being able to maximize your time, and I had went through this transformation over the last couple of years that I said yes and wrote up my plan, and it was like, let's do this. Let's share with other women and just other people in general what happens when you get crystal clear on where it is you're trying to get to and what it is you want to take with you.
A
So,
hundred
yeah,
percent. Oh
that's
my
why.
gosh. So for you, your whole life has completely transformed within 2 years. You got married. You,
Yeah.
with your long-term partner, you were already essentially married, but you got legally married.
Yeah.
You got pregnant with this love child that you've been wanting and calling in for so long. And
Yep.
then you were asked in the midst of all of that to write a chapter in this book, essentially. So I want to first acknowledge you for saying yes to all of it and just continuing
Thank
to lean
you.
into all of these different opportunities, although opportunities often come with challenges, right?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. You said it because there were their challenges. Like you said, this is my first time writing a chapter and being included in a book, and just it was something new. And you have your ways about approaching something that you are learning if it's effective in a whole different realm. So it was exciting, but it was also very, very scary.
Mhm.
Um, but time management is such a powerful thing, and thankfully, I think for most people, you have certain things that you do in your life that have become a habit, and you've crafted it and you've developed it and you've worked on it, and sometimes God puts you in position to be able to share that with others. So this wasn't something that was completely brand new to me in terms of like content and what I was writing about, but
Mhm.
it was just an exciting journey to get down on paper. It was really beautiful really to see once it was down on paper, from the first time I wrote the first chapter to that last line at the end of the process. It was like, wow, look at this, all these thoughts and things that I had in my mind down on paper, and look how powerful they are,
Yes.
you know?
And I'm sure it helped you crystallize because there's some power, there's some magic that happens when we take something from vision to paper and then execution, right? So it transforms the way we move throughout our lives as well. And one of the things I know for you is that you were combining a couple of concepts. And this was, from what I know, the first time that you had began combining those concepts. So share a little bit, like give your official intro and tell everybody what it is, that you do out in the world, your magic in the world, and about these two concepts that you merged essentially in your chapter.
Absolutely. So professionally, I've been a financial planner and been in financial services for close to 10 years now, and I absolutely love it. I help clients with retirement planning, looking at their assets and preparing for their future for their children, and just kind of understanding a better picture of how their money works. And along with that, I just got to help a lot of people organize their schedule to be able to find new ways to make money. And from that kind of birth, this kind of this passion for organizing in general, not just your finances. So as a passion and as a hobby slash business of mine, I've been able to help other women and other people get organized with their passions, essentially, becoming a mom in 2020. Well, actually getting married in 2020, having already been raising my stepchildren and then adding our first hours baby and just getting adjusted to all that entailed as far as scheduling for 5 people, being able to make sure I
Yeah.
have time for myself, making sure that my business is getting the energy that it needed into it. So I feel really accomplished in being able to manage it all and being able to know when I can't manage it all and what I need to set aside. So that's what I've been doing. I've been helping other people do the same thing so they can just enjoy and, feel the abundance of time and opportunity. I love what you said. Leaning into opportunity, because since this book is wrapped up as far as like the backside of it, I've told myself continue to lean in. Why? Because if you put it down, you can say yes, you can enjoy it, and you don't have to stress about it. So
Yes. And you
yeah.
have to share with everybody what you said on our wrap up call about you being a recovered control freak, like overthinker. You have to share a little bit of that process.
Oh my gosh, Patrina, it's so funny. I know you can tell you've known me for years now, so you
Yes.
know, like I can be very detailed and get kind of into the weeds with things, just wanting to know so much. So when I said yes to the book, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to miss out on anything. I want to be fully engaged. I want to, I had all these wants and wants and wants. But I had to really sit down and figure out, what does this book need from me?
Hmm.
And what can I give and contribute that's going to serve the people, our audience. Um, and let go of that expectation of more than what's required, because sometimes you'll put pressure on yourself that's not necessary, you know.
Undue pressure. Undue
Undue pressure. So
pressure.
I remember there was one day in particular, close to the deadline. It was right around Halloween, and the kids were home. I have a daughter who's in college, and she was home, and the kids are in the garage, and we're trying to carve pumpkins, and they're like, "Just take 5 minutes with me. Just take 5 minutes with me." And I'm like, "No, I gotta get finished. I gotta get finished." And then there was a point where I realized how far I was, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm with the deadline. You can set it aside and you can go enjoy your family and get a chance to come back to it. So it really solidified all the work that I had been doing and the content that I was writing, that it's true.
I
You can
love
really
it.
enjoy your life.
I love it. Yeah, it became a grounding. It became a new foundation for which you now have built on. Not
Oh yeah.
going to, but have done. I've literally witnessed you completely change how you move in your day-to-day life, even though we're not together every day, but just everything about you has shifted. You've relaxed and settled into this like embodiment of who you are. You seem calmer. You seem more
Oh
at
yes.
ease. Meanwhile, you're a new mom with a less than 1 year old. Like, it's crazy. And so I just want to commend you. I'm so incredibly proud of you. And I love the content that you put in the chapter as well. I know that many, many people are going to benefit from that. So
Thank you.
tell the readers, tell the people, as you call them, the people, tell them a little bit about what they're going to take away from your chapter. Or if you'd like, you can even read an excerpt from your chapter.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love to share a little excerpt. So, title of my chapter is Clutter Created This Mess, Organized to Maximize. And my intention for the reader is to have a practice or something tangible that they can use to kind of get clear on what's in their mind. Take it out of all the space that we have in our mind, get it down on paper, and really be able to visualize what it is that you want and what it is that you need to do to get there. So let me go ahead and pull this up. All right. So when clutter appears in any area of our lives, we have to ask ourselves, how did we get here? What came first, the clutter in our mind or the mess that it created? Does the mind become so filled with thoughts, reflections, ambitions, and passions that we simply lose track of the abundance of time we have to actualize things? Harnessing time through the organization of your values maximizes the positive experiences and interactions that create our individual world's harmony. My goal is really to make sure that I have harmony in all areas of my life. I love to sing. I love to sing. I love to hear a good harmony, which is a combination of sounds and voices coming together. And in our lives, sometimes those things overlap. And what we want to do is get it to a point where they overlap in a harmonious way.
Yeah.
So I hope that the readers are able to see. I know they're going to be able to see, some of the ways that I was able to harness that harmony and create it through, time management.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yes,
that's
and
what's to
it's
come.
not just through your example and your story, but you also literally walk the readers through how to do it for themselves. And one of the things I really enjoyed about your chapter also is it wasn't just the how to or talking at the reader. In the beginning, you set up like this scene where I literally got a visual of the woman sitting there having that, you know, that conflict within her head and then going into the rest of the content. So I love that. I think you did a really amazing job, especially for your first time writing a chapter in a book. And so I'm extremely excited to share you as a person, but also the content of your chapter with the world. So, with
Yes.
that said, those of you who have not already gone out and purchased your copy of Anatomy of Abundance, a holistic guide to creating prosperity in all aspects of life,
All
you should
aspects.
go right now to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Goodreads. You can go to go.katrinawisdom.com/abundance. Many different ways for you to access that book, but not only get a book for yourself, get a book for a sister, get a book for a friend, purchase 8 or 9 books and gift them out. We believe that this is going to be a book that will absolutely change the world because it's a holistic guide, a roadmap, if you will, that brings together the higher and lower laws of creating abundance so that we can guide you through your inner work as well as the action steps needed to completely and profoundly change and transform your life. And we're not doing it alone. We're in a phase of
No,
life where
ma'am.
we don't need to do it alone. We get to play with our sisters and add value and bring our expertise to the table. So, what would you say to someone who has not yet gone and purchased their copy of the book?
What are you waiting for?
Stop procrastinating, get
Stop
organized,
procrastinating.
organize your life.
Get it together. You know you've been thinking about ways and just trying to find the action steps in community. And what I love about this book is you're not going to just hear one voice. You're
Right.
going to hear from a multitude of powerful, knowledgeable women who are just here to help and inspire and encourage and give you, like she said, some action steps. So you're not just sitting on those wonderful ideas and things that you want to do in life. You need to go get it now. I'm telling you now.
Absolutely. So, as we're wrapping up here, I would love for you to share, just on a personal note, what has been some of your biggest challenges with organization and how have you broken through them? Now, obviously, a lot of that content is in the book, but I'd love to just hear the dynamic of what was previously and how you're functioning now.
So it's about like letting go of things. So
There
I'll
you
use a simple one. So we know it's very easy, like in our household, to get cluttered with things. And one of the areas that it covers just memorabilia, things that are important to us that hurt value. They were like, my grandmother gave it to me, or my aunt gave it to me, or I went on this trip and it was so special to me. And very quickly, you can take up a lot of space in your home to where the ability to even reminisce on those moments is blocked out because you're too busy looking at the space that that actual object is taking up. So, one of the things that I've learned to do is to be able to minimize my need to hold on to a tangible item to
go.
have a memory and
Mhm.
figure out ways to one, write about it because it's a simpler way of holding on to that memory. Maybe taking a picture, being able to have an album that houses those things, and that way I know it never gets lost and I can always look back and reflect on it. But it's really about learning how to let go of things that are just taking up space.
Yeah.
And with having a blended family, I had a chance, a few years back when we did our interview to talk about just becoming a blended family and the different values that come into a household and making sure that everyone is equally represented and that they feel like they have a space for those things that are important to them to be recognized and honored. So that means letting go of things that don't serve us. And it just creates, again, that harmony in the home when you're dealing with other people and just when you're dealing with yourself. So that was one of my struggles. I used to really like to hold on to stuff. I had my share of clutter in my house,
Your house.
but
And
the spaces.
also you talk about in the book the mind clutter as well, because there's a lot of different kinds of clutter and disorganization that can affect us in our life. So just talk briefly about the mind clutter.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that go into our personalities, into our values, and how they come to be. And at a certain point in your life, you start to assess what baggage do I have with me, and is it making me stronger or is it holding me down?
Yes,
And when you're trying to work those things out in your mind, sometimes they conflict with each other. The values that you have in this one area of life professionally may conflict with what you have spiritually, and how does that play out financially? And all of those things can really, again, they can create a mess. So, in the book, I just talk about a way to get that out of your mind on paper and really backtrack. What are those things that are just taking up space, You
yes,
can rearrange things in so many different ways to create a beautiful puzzle. So it's not always, talk about loss. It's not getting rid of everything, but again, just making sure you're assessing what's going on in your mind, what's not serving you that you can let go and, welcome in something more positive, more uplifting and serving of yourself.
exactly. Perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. So obviously, this is a young woman who holds a ton of wisdom that you can all learn from. And so I want to again encourage you to go and purchase your copy of Anatomy of Abundance, a holistic guide to creating prosperity in all aspects of life, where you get to hear from beautiful Kymberly Spears as well as 14 other incredible expert co-authors. So on our way out here, I'd love for you to share with everybody how they can follow you, learn more about you, fall more in love with you.
Absolutely. So you could definitely find me on Facebook. I still like Facebook, even though I'm a young soul. At Kymberly J Spears, and then as well on Instagram, Kymberly Spears Shifting Gears. Definitely follow, come check out my content, get a chance to see how I interact with some of the other women in my community, and just be encouraged and share with me as well, because you can't do this journey by yourself. You
No.
can't. If you want to go far, go together. And I'm definitely excited to have worked with these women on this book. And Katrina, you're just awesome. The community you've created, it's just amazing. So I really, I was this morning, I had a moment where I was sitting, I was sitting on my bed and I was just thinking about, this conversation coming up. And I was just really grateful for you because I wasn't always this open and just this ability to be vulnerable and to create a sisterhood. And because you opened your heart in that space for me, it's really been a change in my life. And I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
So
And I
you
appreciate
guys
you for
join.
trusting me on the journey, because that's really the biggest part, isn't it? Is creating that intimacy and that trust with a person. And once you have that, then you feel safe to open up. So,
Yeah.
and by you opening up, now you get to impact and share that piece of yourself, your soul and your wisdom and your thoughts with the entire world and affect them and help it feel safe for them to also open up. So, this is a big deal. I don't even know if you know how big of a deal this is, really, like if it's actually settled in, but I'm super proud of you. And I couldn't be prouder that we're on this journey together and we'll continue to be on this journey together. So thank you
Oh,
so much for taking
yes.
time
I
away
love
from
you.
baby and
Absolutely. She's with dad. I said, I need 20-30 minutes isolated
yes,
time with Katrina, and he loves you too.
yeah.
We're raving fans in this household.
Well, thank you so much, my love. I'm excited. I'm excited for us to engage collectively as the authors with our
Yes.
readers. Just so you know, sneak peek, breaking news. We also have a book club that we offer in the book. so that you have an opportunity to continue the journey, the conversation, ask questions, engage with our authors. And so we'd really love to invite you into our community in this way through the Anatomy of Abundance book. So go get your copy. Go
Get
your
your copy.
copy. Go
Get
get
your
your
copy.
copy.
Get your copy today.
All right. Thank y'all for joining, and stay tuned for another incredible interview with one of our expert co-authors. We'll see you soon.
You guys.
Bye.